Hello, everybody. I'm Sterling. Welcome back to Learning American English with Sterling, with me. Or sometimes I'm Edward and sometimes I'm Sterling, whatever you want to call me. And here's an interesting mathematical and logical fact about the structure of English. The positives and the negatives of English are completely mathematical. What's that mean? That means that if you mean no, or if you mean not, then when you're speaking correctly, you say no or not or any other negative word only one time, not two times. Because in English, as in mathematics, when you negate a negative, the thing being negated becomes positive. In English, you have to think of the words no or not, just like you think of the negative symbol in mathematics. So let's start with addition. And this may be a little awkward because I'm not high tech here. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, that's quite clear. That's called addition. So what is subtracting? Subtracting is the removal of something. And we use the word minus in English to indicate that we are subtracting. So more high-tech visual aids here. 2 minus 2 equals 0. So subtracting is the removal of something. So start with something and then remove that same thing, subtract it, minus it, and the result is nothing. Adding a positive number to a positive number creates a more positive number. 2 plus 2 equals 4. But adding something negative has the same effect as taking it away. And again, this is called subtracting in English. Adding a negative number is subtracting. Back in elementary school, the teachers taught us the meaning of subtraction by calling it learning our takeaways. And later they started to teach us that adding a takeaway, adding a negative number, is just another way to say that you're taking away or subtracting. Like this. Like this. Yeah, like this. Sorry, you see, I'm not super high tech here. 2 plus minus 2 is 0. Or 2 minus 2 is 0. So this means that if you add a negative number, it has the same effect as taking away that same positive number. Subtraction, taking away, and adding a negative value, they're one and the same thing. They're the same operation. So what if you subtract a negative number? Take away a negative number. Well, I hope I got my visual aids correct. This is a case of subtracting a negative number. The result is you're adding. The two negatives cancel each other and become a positive. Okay, what does all that have to do with English? And what does that have to do with life? These statements about negativity, they make sense in life too, don't they? If you're having a bad experience in your life and you subtract that experience from your life, you take it out of your life. Then what happens? Your experience returns to something more positive, doesn't it? Well, English also works like life does, because English works like mathematics. Spanish, unfortunately, does not work like mathematics. Only sometimes Spanish makes mathematical sense. So here's a positive statement, a declaration in English. I have a car. That is a positive statement. En español, tengo un carro. Un carro. It's still difficult for me, this pronunciation of double R's. Tengo un carro. Eso es una declaración positiva. How do we make that statement negative in English? Well, I hate to make this complicated, but first you must remember that to make a negative statement in English requires the use of an auxiliary verb when there's only one verb in the sentence. In this case, I have a car. The verb is to have. We must add the auxiliary verb to do in English in order to make a negative statement. And we're not going to review the details of question formation right now. Just remember, I had to say this because you need do to negate this sentence in English. I have a car, positive. I do not have a car, negative. That's one possible correct negative statement in English. You could also say correctly, I have no car. But notice, we only said no one time in both sentences. En español, se puede decir, tengo un carro positivo o no tengo un carro negativo. Es más fácil negar una declaración en español porque solo hay que añadir la palabra no, pero no hace así en inglés, desgraciadamente. But what if I wanted to really emphasize or stress that I don't have a car? In English, I could say, I do not even have a car. Maybe my friend has a nice newer car, but I don't even have one. I don't have any kind of a car, new or old. I don't have any kind of a car. Those are all correct statements. And all of them, notice, make a negative declaration only one time. Pero en español se puede decir, ni siquiera tengo ningún tipo de coche. Se nota que en español es correcto decir ni siquiera y ningún tipo en la misma oración. En español se puede negar 2 veces. No se puede hacerlo en inglés. No se puede decir I do not have no kind of a car or I do not have no car. That's incorrect. That is wrong in English and it sounds very bad. In English, you cannot say no 2 times because to say that you do not have no car means, according to the mathematical rules, that you do have a car. By saying no twice, you just subtracted the idea of not having a car. That means that you added the positive idea of having a car. So you said the opposite of what you wanted to say. English uses mathematical logic to make negative statements. In Spanish, it doesn't. I could give you a million more examples, but this video is too short. It's already getting too long. So I'll put some examples into some sentence exercises and give you a link to them in the description box under this video when I get around to it. And I am going to encourage you to listen to the second video on this topic, which is going to come before those comments in the description box here. Now, just let me add one more thought that might confuse you when you're talking to many people in the streets in an English-speaking country. People speaking English use double negatives all the time and incorrectly. What you hear many, many people say is wrong. And it's one of those cultural things. It works this way in Spanish or in English. This happens to me in Spanish. If I try to speak Spanish like an average local person speaks Spanish with grammatical errors, and I use the same bad grammar that they use, they immediately are going to think that I don't know or understand the rules of Spanish because they see and they know that I'm a foreigner. So likewise, English speakers would think of you as a foreigner when you speak the same bad English to them as they spoke to you, but they will keep using that same bad grammar between themselves. It's just a cultural thing. So are you trying to sound like a negative? Then just stay with the rules until that one probably impossible day when you can speak absolutely 100% like a native English speaker. So I'll see you in the next video, because the next video on double negatives is more fun, I hope. Listen to it and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you really, really soon in the next video. Thanks and goodbye for